My name is Boris Volchenko. I run Infrastructure Services Organization for Reynolds Consumer Products. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to share our transformation journey into the cloud, which so far has been amazing. So you've heard from our partners about what can be done, and now I'm going to offer you the customer view of things. So who is Reynolds? As many of you know, Reynolds Consumer Products is a leader in market of cooking, cleanup, and storage products. Hope many of you use our products every day. We sell our goods under the brands of Reynolds and Hefty. I have a Hefty shirt on me. And as well as under a number of private labels. We're based in US and Canada, and we operate 18 plants. Our headquarters are in Lake Forest, Illinois. I'm ready for the next slide. So our journey started when we decided to separate from a family of privately held entities into standalone, independent, publicly traded company. This decision had two major consequences. We had to change the way we were doing business, and we had to change the way we manage our technology. Before the separation, Reynolds' entire technology infrastructure, including SAP, was hosted in an on-premise data center and was supported by its parent. Instead of simply cloning the past state or the present state, the new company made the decision to use public cloud as a vehicle of implementing its digital enterprise strategy. Natural part of that strategy and that decision was the choice to stand up new SAP environment in AWS platform. Next slide. Let's take a quick look at our objectives. As you can see by scanning the bullet points, the common topic here is that we aimed at a transformation rather than at a simple copy-paste. It was a bold and aggressive move to do something like that while separating and while going public. But, we and Reynolds like to think big, and this approach resonated very well with the culture of our company. So we aimed at building better, faster, and more reliable technology. We aim to change our business processes to match our new business model and new business conditions. And of course, we wanted to inflict the minimum amount of pain on the business while doing so. Finally, our objective was to create an ecosystem that supports rapid innovation and will make us competitive in today's market. Next slide. So with the strategy and approach set, we now needed to make some choices. What platform to use, what partner to choose. Success of our endeavor heavily depended on these choices, so we made sure we made the right ones. So on the platform side, our selection process was considered overall platform capabilities, as well as how are the companies of our size and composure are using them. We assessed the culture, gauging how the providers engaged with us as potential customers. And finally, we looked at the breadth and width of the services offered, which where we looked beyond our immediate needs as we knew them, because we were selecting not just an SAP landing zone, we were choosing our new technology provider. Next slide. When looking at the partners, we first and foremost focused on SAP expertise and especially expertise in AWS and SAP. But since this was our first entry in AWS, remember in the past we were a fully on-prem shop, we wanted someone who can help us establish overall public cloud foundation that we can use for the rest of our app portfolio. We wanted to see a proven track record. We wanted to see a solid plan based on tools, based on automation. We wanted to see the people who are strong in their technical competence as they are in business partnership. We wanted to have a partner who is not afraid to commit and is able to execute on those commitments. So let's talk about the approach of our business transformation. Can I have next slide, please? So this slide in front of you represents our approach and schedule. I'm not going to walk you through every single date and milestone, but you can read for yourself. But as you can see, we're executing infrastructure and application level activities in parallel while we were performing the test of test migrations. This repetitive approach allowed us to tune and automate our activities. And in turn, this allowed us to lower our risks and reduce the duration of our migration window. Remember, the migration was done in April. It's a hot period for Reynolds, for our ability to ship the orders to our customers. So minimizing the downtime was one of the key success factors of our plan, and we were able to hit the mark. Next slide, please. So a few highlights of the project. Among most notable things is the fact that we treated this as business transformation and not just an IT gig. This assured visibility and support from all levels of our organization, without which our tasks would have been much harder. We have paused all non-essential development activities, but obviously made arrangement to introduce critical changes into the environment through the dual development process. This allows our business to function. From technology perspective, we treated this as an entry into public cloud, and we took our time to properly design and implement AWS landing zone, which would ready to accept workloads above and beyond SAP. Our go live date, it's important to note, was driven by the business, and our outage windows was not movable. Next slide. Obviously, I want to share a few challenges that we faced during the execution of the project, including the one that we could really do without. So the changes to the business processes were significant, and we were entering the commercial relationship with the entity that used to be a part of us. And now it became a partner. So this had to be reflected in the new design of the processes and systems that support these processes. Obviously, the next obvious challenge was that we had multiple stakeholders. We had a total of 4 organizations coming together to collaborate on this, and our change management had to be transparent, it had to be efficient, and we had to keep everyone aligned on our priorities and goals. And finally, our SAP environment was technically challenging due to some historical reasons, due to its age, size, landscape complexity. So if that was not enough, so the short windows, the large database, unmovable targets, and changes in the business landscape, the final phases of this project happened to fall onto the time period where the teams had to do their work remotely. So I'm reminding it's end of April. I've done my fair share of SAP cutovers or data center moves, but never, ever I have done that without having the core team in the room and key IT contacts sitting in the plants. That's how we always done things. That's common sense. And this is at the beginning of SAP Go Live 101 class, I think. So to go or not to go, that indeed was the question somewhere early April. And it was a difficult question, and while the risks of being wrong were quite high. So we mobilized the team, we reviewed our processes and approaches, we virtualized our command center, we virtualized our hypercare rooms, came up with the backup for the backup for people connectivity, for their Wi-Fis, for their internets, for our communication plans, and we decided to match forward. Next slide. So results. In the end, what did we accomplish? So Reynolds opened a new data center in AWS Cloud and prepared it to host SAP and not SAP workloads. We designed and we properly sized our environment in order to optimize costs and have retain agility, and have place and space for growth. We successfully transformed our system from on-prem to the cloud using rigorous testing and automation. Automation was the key to our success. And in the end, we went live, transitioning 18 plants to the new system in a single go-live event, executing by 100% distributed team. With that, I will be handing it off to Milind, who will take us through the conclusion and Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Boris. So we are going to transition into our live Q&A session now. As a reminder, you will be able to submit any written questions through the questions panel.